Today, we are going to explore a really fascinating paradox. It's a theory of consciousness that basically turns our whole understanding of reality upside down. And it comes from, well, the last person on Earth you'd ever expect. Think about this quote for a second. We are beings of light, not machines like computers. It sounds profound, right? It sounds like something you might read in a spiritual text, not a scientific paper. So, who do you think would make a claim like that? A philosopher? A mystic, maybe? Well, the answer is probably going to surprise you. The person who said that was Federico Faggin. And yes, I mean that Federico Faggin, the physicist who literally invented the microprocessor. You know, the brain inside every single computer you've ever used. The irony here is just incredible, isn't it? I mean, let's just be clear. His credentials in hard science and tech are absolutely untouchable. We're talking about the guy who invented the first microprocessor, who pioneered the silicon gate technology that all modern electronics are built on. Oh, and he also invented the touchpad and touchscreen. The point is, he didn't just understand the world of machines, he literally built it. And yet, despite building our modern world, Faggin found himself in a deep personal crisis. He'd reached the absolute peak of success, but inside, he just felt empty. On the outside, he had it all. A wonderful family, more money than he could ever possibly need, and he was famous and respected all over the world. By every single measure we use, he had completely won the game of life. And you can hear it in his own words. He said, "I did everything right, according to the book, but I was not happy." That powerful, honest admission, it set him on a totally new path, one that went way beyond the circuits and the code he knew so well. Now, being a physicist, he first tried to solve this problem scientifically, but he just hit a brick wall. He could not wrap his head around how a bunch of electrical signals just zapping between neurons could possibly create the rich inner world of what it's like to feel love or to see the color red. This, by the way, is what philosophers call the hard problem of consciousness. And then, one night, during the Christmas holidays back in 1990, something happened. Something that completely shattered his materialistic worldview forever. He described this physical energy that just erupted from his chest. He saw it as a brilliant white light that felt like love, but a love so incredibly powerful, it was beyond anything he'd ever known. It was tangible, it was real, and it was coming from inside him. This energy then expanded out to fill all of space, and his consciousness went with it. That separation we all feel between me and the world. For him, it just collapsed. He was, at the same time, the one watching and the thing being watched. And right there, in that moment of complete unity, a thought just crystallized in his mind with absolute certainty. This conscious, loving energy, this was the fundamental substance of the entire universe. This was the stuff everything is made of. Now, this wasn't just some fleeting feeling for him. It became the foundation for a whole new scientific model of reality. He spent the next few decades trying to rationally explain the very thing he had directly experienced. Okay, so the core of his theory starts with a concept he simply calls one. Just imagine one as, well, everything, the totality of all existence. But it's not some static, empty void. It's a dynamic, interconnected whole. And here's the most important part. It has a fundamental desire, a will to know itself. That desire, he argues, is free will, and the ability to know, that's consciousness. So the big question is, how does this one, this universe, get to know itself? Well, according to Faggin, one creates countless conscious entities. He has a special name for them, cities, and each one has its own unique point of view. And guess what? We are those entities. Through our individual lives, our joys, our sorrows, our discoveries, the universe itself is learning and evolving. And this is where the whole paradigm just flips. The standard scientific view says matter is fundamental. Matter came first, and consciousness just sort of bubbled up from complicated brains. Faggin says, nope, you've got it backwards. He argues that consciousness is fundamental and that matter is something that appears within consciousness, almost like a shared virtual reality that we all use to interact and to learn. Now, this model has some really profound things to say about one of the biggest topics on the planet right now, artificial intelligence. Faggin makes a really critical distinction here. He says our conscious experience is kind of like quantum information. It's private. You can't just copy your feeling of love and paste it into my brain. It can't be cloned, and it has real intrinsic meaning, real feeling. But computer information, that's classical. It's public, you can copy it perfectly a billion times, and it's just symbols, ones and zeros that have no meaning on their own. And this leads to Faggin's, well, his killer argument. The simple fact that you can copy and paste the entire code for an AI like GPT from one machine to another is proof that it isn't conscious. You can't copy and paste a soul. You just can't duplicate a private subjective experience like that. Okay, so why does any of this actually matter? Because if we were to adopt this worldview, it could fundamentally change the entire path of our species. Look at the difference. If we see ourselves as just biological machines in a random universe, then our driving force is competition. It's survival of the fittest. But if we understand that we are all conscious parts of a whole with a shared purpose to know and experience, our core behavior shifts to cooperation. The universe is no longer a random, meaningless accident. It's purposeful and deeply interconnected. The ethical takeaway here is so simple but so profound. If we are all truly interconnected parts of a single cosmic consciousness, then harming another person is quite literally harming yourself, and helping another person is helping yourself. Which, of course, brings us to the ultimate question. If we aren't just machines battling for survival in a cold, meaningless cosmos, then what in the world are we? The answer in this view is beautiful. Our purpose is to know ourselves. We are the universe's way of experiencing itself. We are here to learn, to grow, and to contribute to that cosmic self-knowledge, to co-create a better world not through competition, but through cooperation.